Hello random viewers and welcome to episode 12 of my Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. This is season 2 and I now have a new mod, so that's great. Anyways, let's jump right into YouTube. That's the save where I have stored YouTube related things. Let's see. First thing I want to do today is look at our contracts. Build a new orbital station around Minmus, okay. Conduct observational studies of Minmus. I've got, how long do I have for that? 12 years, 17 years. I think we're going to fly by Duna today. So, first I'm going to upgrade the launch pad. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And now I'm going to test something out. I've been working on a new craft. I don't know if it'll actually open. Autosaved? No, that one. I know it contains locked or invalid parts. What parts are invalid? Not that one. Oh, these. What if I save that now? Does that do it? Come on. Okay, this is going to take some work. I'm going to figure out what the locked and or invalid parts are. And once I do, yeah, I'll show this thing off to you. So I'll be right back. Alright, so here's my rocket. This is the Scorpius 01. Obviously inspired by the Proton rocket. Probably show you a quick picture of that. The Proton, I do believe, is used to launch cargo, not people, but that's what mine is for. It uses this massive first stage, and after that burns out, it jettisons the fairing, so I'll delete that. And then you've got this. You get rid of this at some point during the launch when you don't need it anymore. That's the escape tower in case something goes wrong. It can jettison the capsule, saving the crew. After this burns out, this will get it on a suborbital trajectory, way above the atmosphere. This will then decouple, and this bit here will continue into orbit. Right after it makes it into orbit, I will quickly switch craft right back to this bit, and let me make this the root part so I can show you. And then we can get rid of this rocket up on top of there. And this bit here can actually land and be recovered. I saved just a tiny bit of fuel, and it's enough to slow it down, get the parachutes open, then slow it down even more for landing. And this makes this thing cost me about $25,000 to launch, and I'm not going to save that. My old crew transfer, which I believe was the Altair... Ooh. The Altair 3, I couldn't get that thing to fly. Was it the Kamar? No, that was my moon launcher. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. This costs a lot more, and you get much less back. So if I were to use that as a crew launcher, I'd be in a lot of trouble. So yeah. I will... Oh, this one. Manned orbital vehicle. No, this is a docking one, or a rendezvous one. But yeah, you get the point. We save a ton of money going with the Scorpius, as I'm going to start calling that. So I'm going to pause the recording, get some things together, and then we're going to get started with our actual mission today. Okay, so here's our rocket for today. This is the Marius 1. You can probably guess what it's for. It's going to Duna. And yeah, it is a derivative of the Helia booster down here. That's the one that took us to the moon in the most recent episodes. Not the old Altair 3 lander, but the Helia lander. And this is its own upper stage. It's kind of derived from the Helia, but it's more its own kind of upper stage. Yeah, this thing's going to fly towards Duna. It's got its own upper stage and things. This bit's going to stay with it for a while. I need to increase the ejection force, that's right. I always forgot to do that. There we go, save that. So yeah, it has lots of transmitters. It has a landing portion. And I'm going to try to land this on the poles, because transmitting science, you lose a ton of your data, so I want to do that as little as possible. But, you know, we still want that science. We'd never land on the poles just because it's so hard to get something back from there, you know, with a Kerbal, because you can get a lot more science when you have a Kerbal. So, we're going to be landing on the poles where we'd never go. That way we're not wasting science, and we're getting science anyways. So, it's great. So that's what we're going to do today. And I think that's just about everything. Oh yeah. Our new mod is Kerbal Engineer. It's great. I don't know what its capabilities are. I just know that it gives me a nice heads-up display, which means I can go into the map view less, which means a lot easier time for me editing those really fast launch sequences. That's all I had in mind. I just realized those things are clipping. Whatever. So yeah, we're gonna save that, and we're going to launch. And I know that this just barely, and I mean just barely, has the fuel to get us to Duna with where we're at now. We're not in the best inclination to go to Duna, but the sooner we go the better, because it's only going to be getting worse over time. So we're going to set that as our target. It's actually straight up right now, which is kind of funny. But yeah. So you can see the... Turn yourself on. Where are you? Hey, Kerbal Engineer. Oh, okay, I gotta add a chip. I'm also going to add some fuel tanks on top of these solid rocket boosters to feed into this tank, just to get us a little extra thrust, just because I know fuel was very tight in my test flight. So I'll be right back. I'm sorry about that. So now that that's fixed and we're actually recording, yeah, we can go places now. So I'm going to get that up. Yes, I don't have to watch my fuel with this, because I'm not saving the bottom stage. So yeah, that's everything. I'm going to engage SAS, full power to the engines at first, and we are go for launch. It's been a long time since I've flown one of these. It's kind of fun. Already drifting off course. Wonderful. How typical. Luckily we can go into a straight equatorial orbit and be fine. So while we're launching, I'm going to try to talk and do this at the same time. It's actually a lot harder than you'd think. That's what's caused me a lot of issues in the past. But yeah. The reason I have not had any videos recently is because I managed to destroy my computer somehow. And by destroy, I mean just corrupt the operating system. So I had to completely wipe the thing, reinstall the operating system, get everything set back up. It took a very long time, as you can imagine. So now I finally got it running again, and I'm back on here. I did make a backup before I wiped it. It wasn't completely unusable without its operating system. Well, I mean, it was only the registry, if you know what that is. I think it came about when I had to edit directories in regedit for my SSD, and so that things would be saved on the SSD as well as the hard drive. Everything was being saved to my SSD, so I was rerouting things so that my SSD wouldn't fill up because it's smaller. But that wasn't working, because the way Windows 10 works is it puts everything in the operating system, so programs that you download integrate themselves with the operating system. So if you put your operating system on the faster device, you're in trouble. So I put the operating system on the hard drive, slightly slower boot times, but besides that, no real downsides. And that fixed the issue pretty much. I seem to have lost a little bit of speed, but I can gain that back. So yeah, right now Kerbal's on the SSD, and that's the only thing on it. So that gets me really fast loading times in Kerbal. So that has some advantages for you guys. I hope you appreciate me for it. Probably not. Yuzochi doesn't appreciate me for anything. It's great. It's pretty funny. No, he's different from how he seems. That's probably the best way I can put it. So, yeah, that's right. I don't have to go to map view. I can watch my AppWeb's height right here. Don't want it getting too high. It's going to get tricky learning to read this, but I think I can do it. AppWeb's height of 20,000 meters, or 20 kilometers like normal people say. Don't know why I'm so bad at that, but I am. Okay. Yeah, the G-forces are increasing. We're really picking up some speed here. I love it when the real Plume starts to expand the Plume, and we really start picking up that speed, getting an AppWeb that's really getting up there. Yeah, this is where things get fun. First stage will be burning out in the next few seconds or so. I estimate we've got 20 to 30 seconds left on it. Pulling 2 Gs of acceleration at this point, quite normal for Kerbal, actually quite low for real life, but real life you've got to accelerate a lot faster. I'm actually going to throttle back slightly just because we're gaining speed a lot faster than I'd like. We don't want the AppWebs to get too high, but we also don't want it too low. It really is a delicate balance. I'm going to try to get it as high Just above 70 is what I want. Just above 70. Okay, here comes 70, so time to really throttle back a bit. And begin turning way over. Okay, great. RCS on. Thrusting forward. And killing throttle. Igniting engines. Throttling up. There we go. Too many things to remember. What is our ISP at this point? If it is vacuum, we can jettison the fairings like that. There we go, much better. Yeah, they weren't separating properly in my previous tests, so it's a good thing that we got that fixed. I'm going to point slightly downwards to keep our apoapse from growing too high. I want it to kind of stay lower, because the lower it is, the more efficiently we can thrust towards Duna. There we go. We can burn some RCS to lighten our load a bit. I downsized on thrusters. We've only got 2 of them. And I've disabled the thrusters up here. I don't want them burning. I believe this fuel is disabled. Yes, it is. So yeah, the reason my Kerbal Engineer didn't work is I didn't have this thing on it. So now I've got a thing on it. It's got spinny bits, as the description says. Spinny bits are cool. So that's what it has. Oh, we're in space now. I don't hear any music at all. There's a tiny bit of music. I can barely hear it. Luckily I can adjust my volume without leaving the window, because I've got this nice little box that came with my speakers and it has this little knob on it. And I can turn the knob up and down. So now I can hear the engines and listen to the volume. Who knows what you guys can hear? I get to control that in editing. It's fun having control. Sorry. So now, yeah. I bet you enjoy being able just to watch the rocket the whole time, and I can watch all the technical bits up top. That's why I got this mod, and I think it's very worth it. Having that extra fuel on the first stage probably bought us a few extra seconds on that, which means we won't be anywhere near as low on fuel as we were in the past. Oh, we're getting a periapse. Getting a periapse. Okay, I'm going to kill throttle there, and continue the burn on RCS. So yeah, I will come back when we get on, when I'm ready to send us towards Duna's orbit. Okay, I'm back. It's about time for us to do the burn. Okay, so thrusting forward and igniting the engine. Wow, every time I have one engine I say engines, and every time I have multiple I say one. Why can't I just figure out how to do plurals? I don't know. It must be because of reasons. So yeah, here's the rocket on its way, thrusting towards Duna. This should put it on an orbit that will get it very close, about that close, and I will do a mid-course correction to fix that. We're not in the perfect transfer window, so that's why it's not perfectly. Just a few more seconds probably, and then I can continue on RCS and do final corrections. Right about there. So yeah, I will continue on RCS and do some mid-course corrections. I think, yeah, we could time accelerate all the way there. I've got time on my contracts, and it'd be nice to get some newer contracts coming up. So yeah, we'll land this episode. I'll be right back after I get us on that intercept course. So yeah, here we are about to leave the Kerbal system. I'm just going to warp to the point where we get out of here. Oh no. How dare you cancel, you stupid time warp. Press the wrong button. There we go. It's fun to watch the moons of Kerbal spin around it. Okay. So now I'll really do those mid-course corrections. So I have a maneuver set up where I'm going to, yeah, basically shift my orbit from how it is now to kind of like this. I don't know how to show it. I could show it in accelerated mode so you could see. But yeah, our whole orbit's going to be shifted a little bit, and that's going to fix our issues with not lining up. It's going to be a pretty big burn. I do believe we have the fuel for it. Yeah, maybe, especially if we use the RCS. So this is going to be a long process for me. I'm going to burn off a huge amount of fuel using RCS. So I will return. Rather low on RCS fuel, but that's fine. Completely fine. The thing I am worried about is I noticed that we jettisoned our fairings, and it wasn't till later that I remembered in my original flight plan I would have left those on. So those were there for aero braking. I'm going to have to figure out how to aero brake without any kind of heat shield. Which means I'm going to have to time it perfectly. Too high, I skim over the atmosphere and bad things happen. Too low, bad things also happen. It's terrible. Yeah, I either burn up or miss. One or the other. Come on, seriously, where's the maneuver? Come on. Come on. Seriously. Alright, I'm just gonna mess around a little bit more. I know I've got a maneuver almost. So I now have a periaps on Duna of 32 kilometers. I'm gonna start with my tests. I'll make a quick save right as I'm entering the atmosphere. Not atmosphere, sorry. Orbit, so I can adjust that. Because, again, in real life, there would be teams of scientists helping me. I am one person now, so trial and error is okay with quick loading. So, yeah. Quite low on fuel. I'm glad we added that extra fuel to those boosters. My fuel constraints were a lot tighter on the test. Actually had to start getting RCS from the satellite stage. Warp here, and enjoy this. I think I'll time-lapse all my failure attempts, or a few of them. Have fun watching this. Well, look at that. First try. That's insane. I just turned on the engines while I was in the atmosphere, and that did it. Burned off a ton of fuel, but that's fine. I forgot to look for science in deep space, but I probably wasn't going to get any. Come on. Yeah, that's a pretty good orbit. Right along the poles. The landing craft has no engines of its own, so I'm going to have to tug it in using the satellite portion, and then push the satellite portion back into orbit before it crashes. So that's really interesting. There we go. Where's our orbit at now? That's pretty good. I'm going to time accelerate up here and put us into a stable orbit around Duna. That way we don't, you know, die. Add maneuver. Let's get us into a circular orbit, pretty much. What do we have in the reserve tanks? Enough. Yeah. Well, reserve tanks. Just tanks. There are no reserves on this thing. It has precisely the amount of fuel it needs, I think. Probably a little over, but that's fine. Thrusting forward. And we'll try and burn off the rest of this fuel to put us into a stable orbit. And that should be good right there. Great. Now we have a satellite in a stable orbit. Now what I'm going to do is decouple this. Well, first I'm going to quick save. Then I'm going to decouple here. We're full of electric charge. Good. And you're going to extend your antennas, please. It would do this automatically, of course. Then we'll switch to the other one and get it on its course towards death. Sounds fun. So let's switch to it. Turn off the SAS. Come on, can you redo your resources? Thank you. And it will probably slowly... Nope, no it won't. I was going to say it's probably going to slowly die. No, it's not. It has 14 units of monopropellant. I'm going to give it a quick burst this way. Quick thrust of the main engine just to get it free of that. And then we can begin the collision course. Good, we're drifting away from that. That's great. I will now thrust upwards, and then engage SAS. Forward, and start the engines. Thank you. And that should really smash it into the surface pretty good. Assuming we don't run out of fuel, of course, which we just did. I will continue on RCS. There. That's pretty good. I'll even... Oh, we're out of fuel right there. So let's watch it crash, because we're people who do that kind of thing. Oh, look at that. We got first flyby of Duna. Yeah, great. We got money for that. That pays for the launch right there. Stop that. Seriously. Come on. I want to slam towards the surface. Alright, I'm going to speed this up. Have fun watching the re-entry and death of this stage. Okay, here comes the crash. The poles are oddly pink. Kinda cool. Alright, say goodbye to this stage. We don't need it anymore. Oh wow, I'm surprised that much survived. It'll die. That poor music. Trying to figure out what to play. Okay. Oh no, no. Close, thank you. Why can't I switch to that? Okay, here we go. Back with it. What are you saying? Oh, you've entered atmospheric flight above Duna. Yeah, I have done that. Would you please die now? Thank you. So, North Pole or South Pole? How fast can I time accelerate? Pretty fast, so I'm gonna say South Pole. Okay, right here should get us... I'm gonna do it... It's a pretty big target, so it's not gonna be that difficult to hit. That reminds me. Let's grab some scientific data. Open that up, please. Open. Thank you. Let's see here. It's got a barometer. Log pressure data. This is in space high above Duna. Ooh, we'll want to get that when we can later on. This bit up here is the satellite portion. I'm going to enable the RCS ports and then enable the RCS tank. What kinds of resources does it have? Not very much, just electricity and monopropellant. Looks good to me. RCS off. Let's nice thing is it can kind of tug itself. It'll reverse downwards. No. It'll reverse itself back up. There we go. We're going to flip this around. Quick save and then begin the descents. Stop texting me, people. F5. RCS on. M. Okay, fine. We'll do it like this. No. There we go. And we will begin the descent. And I will use time acceleration for your sanity and mine. Okay, we've got that down to about 11 kilometer periaps. Oh, we lost our Kerbal Engineer, that's right. Okay, now we're going to decouple. Good, that's exactly what I wanted. Well, let's switch back to this. What do you have? Oh, that's great. And that pushed this one back up a little bit, and then it can reverse to save itself from total destruction. Because we want it to stay in orbit. There it goes. And that's going to push it above the atmosphere. I'll probably get it into a more circular orbit later. And this orbit's probably fine. I'm lazy. I'll probably just leave it here. So I'll come back when we're ready for the re-entry. And I've fixed everything. Okay, we are beginning to approach the atmosphere. I'm going to time accelerate till we are within it. I believe that's the atmosphere right there. Come on. Log pressure data. Hang on. Let me pause this really quick. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So this is recorded atmospheric pressure from Duna's upper atmosphere. Please transmit that. Thermometer. Log temperature. And please transmit that. I'll probably forget to grab those later. Oh, be sure to recharge your batteries, please, before the actual descent. Any stored data? Nope, no stored data. Good, so now we can close these doors. Close them. Hang on, I gotta pause this. Okay, I'm back. That was my mom coming in to steal Emma, which is great, because Emma can be annoying at times. So, yeah. We will soon be getting much deeper into the atmosphere. Oh, that's right, I wanted to get a mystery goo. Please get yourself on a better trajectory. There. Let's observe mystery goo, please. You observe the goo. Thank you. Keep that data and close the doors. Yeah, for some reason this thing does not want to fly straight. It didn't do this in my testing. I love that. So, I'm going to have to guide it the whole way in, pretty much. Wonderful. At least we're going over the polar ice caps. That's good. I wouldn't want to transmit that. I kind of want... What's this? Okay, gather the first scientific data from Duna. Good, they're happy. All this money making people happy. It's great. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to jettison this heat shield as soon as we're through most of re-entry, just because I don't want it. Is it re-entry when it's the first time you've ever entered it? No. I don't know. Who knows? I sure don't. So, yeah. Losing speed pretty quickly. Yeah, I can tell the thing wants to flip in a way. I'm not going to let it. We may not even need a heat shield. This atmosphere is so thin. Speaking of that, I sure hope these legs can slow it down. And not crush this. I might want to keep the heat shield. Keep the heat shield? Nah, we'll ditch it. We're likely to lose more speed. The legs can absorb the impact. I can lock the suspension too, probably. Wheel stress. These are not wheels. Be quiet about that. There. Oh yeah, that's right, the probe core's in there. Okay, it's time to jettison the heat shield, in my opinion. Oh, why? Open that, please. Okay, deploy the drogue chutes. That should slow us down some. There we go. Get rid of that extra mass. There. Yep. The drogue chutes are slowing us down. The doors are slowing us down. Very good. SAS off. Don't want it anymore. Going slow enough now that it's not useless, and that it's useless to us. Gear, please. They didn't glitch too much. There we go. There's those open. And they're slowing us. Ooh. We're going to be hitting pretty hard. Can you please open? Altitude minimum pressure. There we go. Minimum pressure. Come on. There we go. Now the main chutes are open. Okay, the heat shield hit. Are we angled towards the sun? Good. We're going to need to be perfectly angled towards the sun because... Oh yeah, it looks like we're landing in a valley. We might have trouble transmitting things with very limited electricity. Being pretty much right on the pole, ooh, might be going nighttime. Dang. Oh, only 7.7 meters a second? I thought we'd be hitting much faster with the thin atmosphere. I guess this craft is light enough that these massive parachutes really do slow it down. Whatever, I'm not complaining. I'm glad I don't have to worry about using an engine to slow down. So yeah, we should soon hit. What if I observe Mystery Goo here? This is, what, just above? Flying at Duna. It's the same. We can get that later with a crewed craft. Crewed as in C-R-E-W-E-D, not C-R-U-E-D, I think. Or is it C? Spelling. Spelling is hard, okay. I was never good at spelling bees. Yeah. So, we're angled towards the sun, hopefully. Please angle us better at the sun. Thank you. Yep, stop that. SAS on. And we're going to hit a little bit hard. Okay. Okay, gear up. Lower us gently, please. Thank you. SAS off. And look at that. That's exactly the whole purpose of the gear, just to slow us down. Okay, we're done with this craft now. Let's close the doors and leave it to sit here forever. You've served me well, Marius 1. I wonder what the Marius 2 will look like. Okay, let's go spend all that science we earned. Okay, so we have 200 science. Do we want small docking ports? Not particularly. Do I want these extendable solar panels? Ooh, those would be nice. What about probe cores and blocks? That, don't really need it that much right now. Don't really need that all that much right now. What's that? Come on. Oh, that's what I was just looking at. Gear, not all that necessary at the moment. What's that? Ooh, air brake. I kind of want that for my crew transfer vehicle. Yeah. That would have some huge uses. Airplane parts, nah. Nah, don't really need that. Engines, my engine technology is pretty fine right now. I mean, just using lots of little engines is working just fine for me. So that's what I think I'm going to keep doing. Let's grab... Where'd it go? Yes, the air brakes. I will research that technology. Thank you. How much are those? There's a 90. Would be nice to have the Poodle engine. That would have some huge advantages. Dock 2 vessels on or at Kerbin. Okay, I can do that. It's not that hard. Where's the destination? Fly by Minmus, land on Minmus. Why do they need to go to Minmus? Yeah, plant a flag on Minmus. I don't know. Equatorial orbit of Kerbin, nah. Observational studies. No, thank you. Yeah, I'll look at contracts later. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. And thank you so much for subscribing. My channel's been growing a lot faster than I expected lately, which is crazy. But yeah, thank you again, and have a nice day, everyone.